Alright, guys. Just getting my fantastic Dota 2 up on screen right now. And that should happen in about 5 seconds. And click that button. That's not what I wanted. That button. That was close. It just took a second. If you guys have a problem with my webcam, I don't know what that is. I'm having a visual glitch right next to my webcam. I actually think, so if anybody has any opinions on this, you can let me know. We're here for a 7.22H patch review, by the way. But real quick, just for anybody who has an opinion on the matter, before I get into it, I wanted to talk about, I'm going to get rid of the border on my webcam. You know, it's right around me, because it's having a visual glitch, and I don't know exactly why. So because of that, I'm kind of tempted just to get rid of it, because the glitch itself isn't exactly worth the effort. I don't know exactly what would make it go away. I've tried stretching it and moving it, so you know, honestly, I can do that on the fly. It's really easy. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. Oh no, it's a disaster. That should fill the window. It's whatever. I'm just gonna readjust. It should be fine. Where is it? Webcam frame. Yes, there. I'll just be kind of floating in there. I don't know. It looks a little bit worse in that regard, but it also means I can do things like moving myself down to the bottom of the screen there, so it's not as peculiar. And I was just curious if anybody cared. I did the same thing on every one of these. It's just unfortunate. I normally wouldn't do this while I was on stream, but I'm just curious, since you guys can see the direct comparison as it disappears, if it bothers you. If I just did it and didn't say anything, then we'd be kind of in a different circumstance, because you just kind of, it'd be more seamless. It's also going to give you guys more view of the gameplay, since I'm moving myself over, which I think matters. Alright, I think that's basically it. There's no frame on the full one. This is my console view, by the way. This is what it looks like when there's nothing on the screen. It's kind of annoying. It also is what it gives me when there's a bug. So right now, it's there's nothing connected because my console's not on. It's technically connected, but it's not on. But it's super frustrating when it is on and you know, it's still connected, and it just does this, because it's like, excuse me, no signal. There should be a signal, and it irritates me very much. Ooh. This is what it looks like for me on my screen. Oh, look at that. Inception. Cool. So that is that. I hope that my screen is catching everything. I don't know if I actually put it how it's supposed to be, the game capture. Because I messed with it because I'm an idiot. This is going to be a lot of bug fixing as we go live here. It'll just be a couple minutes for you guys on YouTube. Don't worry, I'm about to be done. I'm just... Oh, okay. We were actually waiting for Turtle anyway, so he could be with us for the patch, and he just showed up. So, honestly, this wasn't even a bad thing. We were kind of waiting regardless.
Hello?
What's up, man?
Not much, you.
Not much.
I saw you play a game yesterday.
What game?
Jug.
Oh, yeah. I won.
You won, PogChamp.
Honestly, I messed up a couple times during that game. I threw a really bad ult in the middle of that game.
Dude, remember when I played
really
two calibration games with you?
Yeah.
after like you left, I won 7 games in a row.
I'm glad. Good for you. I mean, so are you fully calibrated?
On my other account, yeah, I got.
On this one, you are Ancient 4?
Yeah, I'm 4.7 on this one.
I think so. Now we're about to get into the patch, but before I do that, stats, I'm now 4-2 for ranked carry, which means that almost 4 wins, 2 losses. I'm almost guaranteed to equal the MMR from last time at worst. If I win a single game, my MMR will stay the same, even if I lose
4 games to get 5.
That's what I'm saying, exactly. So like, I'll probably gain MMR, but not a lot.
What was your MMR before? Was it like 4.2?
4.3, a tiny bit below, because I lost a core game or two after the new system. So I should go up to 4.4-ish. So you're 4.5, you said?
4.7.
4.7? Oh, I totally misunderstood. I don't know. I just ignored what you said, I guess. Alright, cool. Alright, everything's back where it should be on my little end here. Sorry for the delay, guys. That was about, what, 5 minutes of troubleshooting? Yikes. If you guys have any opinions on how you feel about the web cam frame, if you'd like me to put another one in there, that's something I can definitely accomplish. It's just something that I didn't really think was entirely necessary. If there's an issue with the, it looks like there is. That's so frustrating to me. I always end up in these situations where I like view these tiny things that nobody else seems to care about, but I totally do. Like I'm going to my channel right now on Internet, Google Chrome. Why did I say Internet Explorer? I don't use Internet Explorer. Okay, it looks good. I thought that it was cutting off the right side of my screen, and I was really frustrated because it was cutting off like a small little thing, but that's just on my side for some reason, so it looks fine. I don't like not having a webcam frame, but at least it gives me more space for gameplay, so what are you gonna do? It does look fancy, so it makes me sad. I really do. I am attached, by the way, to the so it's way far away from myself. But if you go all the way to the top where it says Cribbus136, I'm very attached to that because it brands my channel. If anybody tries to rip one of my videos, it's like, excuse me, I'm Cribbus136. That's mine. And they could obviously try to delete it, but that would since it usually falls over another HUD because it actually we should be in the DotA one. It usually falls like right below like the heroes and stuff, and you'd end up destroying the top HUD during gameplay of like DotA 2. So it's like, unfortunately, it'll be obvious that you try to delete something from the video. So I have them on YouTube anyway and whatever. But
I mean, I don't think anyone's gonna try to steal your videos, but yeah.
At my current level, no, but it's just nice to protect yourself. And also somebody can know who I am even if they didn't like look at it's just easier. So going towards patch details, we've been talking for 6 minutes without talking about this, so let's get into it. So some of these it's not a big patch. It's only some nerfs. It's nerfs. It's all nerfs. None of these are buffs. But some of them are bigger and some of them are smaller. One of the bigger ones that looks small, in my opinion, is the basic neutrals now give 5% less XP. This means every single neutral camp in the jungle, minus ancients, gives you 5% less XP. So the number is not huge, but it does matter for a lot of heroes who go into the jungle early. This means jungle at level 1 is even worse than it was before. So if you were going to argue that it takes you 10 minutes to get out of the jungle as like I don't know, like full jungle Venomancer or something.
Veno jungle is actually strong.
Isn't it right? So that I've heard that. That's why I said that example. Now it takes 5% longer time to get to the same level that you had before. Now on 10 minutes, 10% of 10 minutes is what? It's that's 600 seconds, right? So 600 seconds. So 10% of 600 is 60 seconds. So it's an extra 30 seconds. That doesn't sound like a big deal, but that means your timing on level is 30 seconds behind since you're 100% dependent. I know that doesn't sound like a big deal, but it kind of is, right? That means it's a
big deal for like Wraith King, Alchemists.
Yeah, anybody who goes in the jungle to get quick camps too, it's just even less profitable now because you'll actually get more experience just staying in lane. Now the gold is still a thing, so now I'm going to expect to see more heroes played who can farm a camp without being there. So Alchemist should be okay. You're going to throw an acid spray on a small camp and you're going to leave. You're not even going to stay for the experience. You're going to go back to lane and make sure you're there for XP gain because you're going to get more staying in the lane and you're still going to get the gold from that camp. Something like that. A hero who can drop an ability and leave.
Just jungle at level 5, to be honest.
I think a lot of heroes, the patch stinks, Bergie. It's small.
I'd say something like Naga or TB aren't very affected.
I think Naga and TB are... It hurts Naga more.
Thing is, like, Naga and TB farm so fast either way, and they get so much XP either way, it's, like, not really...
Well, it does help, though. It helps curb it. You know what this really affects, though, that I considered when I was in the car driving home today? Midas. People usually use Midas on creeps that are in the jungle. Midas does a multiplicative effect of the base XP of the creep that it hits. If the XP goes down, Midas goes down with its XP. Yeah. So it's almost double affected by this, unless you use it on a lane creep. So it incentivizes someone with the Midas to stay in lane, technically speaking. And it punishes them for trying to just jungle with it. So this is something I thought was really cool, because this is hurting Midas, and it's hurting the all jungle strat. Again, because that's been hit a couple times.
Does it really hurt Midas if there's less XP on the map? In jungle, like, it depends on the game,
I think Midas in lane is fine. I think Midas isn't bad just because I just think it's a small hit to some of the strategy of getting a Midas running to the large camp and then just hitting the large creep and then walking back to lane, because now you're getting less experience total for that exchange. I think you'll still do it, it just sucks more. It's a way to slow down heroes who buy Midas and get to crazy levels fast. The biggest changes on this entire thing are these item changes, I would argue. I think that's in Night Stalker 2, but I think these item changes are huge. Phase Boots armor was reduced by 1. That's actually pretty big, considering that early game Phase Boots can often bring a hero with 1 or 2 armor up to 7. So that change is dramatic because the percentage of physical damage reduced is high at that point. Now that it only gives you to 4, that hurts a lot. That's
These items are just like offlane and 4 position nerfs. And
Yep.
like some mid heroes, some carry heroes.
Yep, these are a lot of offlaner and roamer items.
Solar
Phase boots
Crest
are
was like the most broken item in the game, pretty much.
yeah. Screw Solar Crest. So I think the phase boot armor nerf is going to make treads a more nice item because a lot of heroes now cores are not buying treads anymore. They're buying phase on most of them. So I like to see phase get a small nerf to put it more in line with where treads are at. I still think heroes that need phase, like Lifestealer, Juggernaut, heroes like that are still going to buy phase boots, but it's just nice to see that they're a little bit more susceptible to getting hit back. It's going to make it easier to harass them in lane too, because I sometimes feel like when a Juggernaut gets his phase boots, there's no point as a support to even harass him anymore. He just doesn't take damage. And I know that he's still not taking dramatically more, but just that small bit makes it a more profitable trade. Medallion's armor reduced by 1, same thing. It's just nice to see that people can't get early armor stacking so heavily. Solar Crest God's armor reduced by 2. This means that upgrading to a Solar Crest is literally only important when you're thinking about the movement speed and the attack speed, because now that the armor is barely it's barely different. Honestly, it's a 3 armor difference. It just doesn't matter as much. It's mostly for the shine. Like not the armor, but the other effects of it. So if you don't care about the movement speed, attack speed, which is rare, but if you don't, I wouldn't even upgrade from a medallion to a Solar Crest. Because
I still think it's a good item in general. It's just not amazing anymore.
Yeah, it's still good. I can see slowing down and not bothering to upgrade it very quickly, unless that's what you're looking for, is the movement speed and the attack speed. So this is a nice nerf to put Solar Crest more in line with other items, so it's not just S tier. Ring of Protection is no longer available in Side Shop. This means that you can't start a Ring of Basilius and finish it in lane. All of the parts of Ring of Basilius have to be bought at base, which nerfs heroes like Bristleback, who won an early Basilius. This is huge, actually.
Nerf to offlane in general.
Exactly, it's a nerf to offlane cores in general.
Don't do it. Barely do it.
There's barely any safe laners who need to spam their abilities in lanes so, crazily that they need to buy a Basilius.
I mean, I do it on drugs sometimes. I get Bassi and then I disassemble and make it drums.
This actually annoys me as an Ursa player, because oftentimes when you're building Vlads, which Ring of Protection builds into Basilius, which builds into Vlads, I will already have my Morbid Mask out of Side Shop. I'll have my phase boots. I have like a wand. My Wraith, I might buy a Wraith Band depending. And then I'm like, okay, I can buy the Ring of Protection right out of the Side Shop to start getting towards my Vlads. And it's going to be a nice little bump to my survivability in lane. Like, I don't need my support anymore. I have ridiculous armor. But now it's like, oh, I have to send that too. So it's just another thing that I have to send on the courier, and it's going to take longer to get to that point of survivability where I feel safe enough that my support can leave.
I guess you just send it with the recipe of Vlads. No?
Yeah, exactly. They're just going to slow that down a little bit. I know it doesn't seem like a big deal, but I'm now technically 2 armor more vulnerable for an extra minute or a minute and a half. And that does matter. As we both know, that 1 minute is sometimes in higher level games the minute that you die.
Depends how you send out the items, to be honest.
Of course. This makes me sad, is all I'm saying. I think it's good. We should get rid of Side Shop. I think, personally, the game would be better if Side Shop was either gone or had a drastically reduced availability. I hate the items.
I mean, like, that would like make mid get fucked over, because then the safe lane needs to use the courier. If they added like you can get your own courier maybe or something, maybe.
Okay, but, that's like, fair, I guess.
If my carry needs to use courier to get Quelling Blade, then my offlane needs to use
No, I'm fine with Quelling Blade. I'm fine with is Stout available in Side Shop? Yes.
No,
it's not. I would be fine if Stout was available too. If it was Stout, Quelling Blade, TPs. But you shouldn't be able to buy a full blade mail. Every piece of blade mail is available in the Side Shop. Think about that.
Yeah, I know.
That's kind of stupid, right? Like, why? I don't think you should be able to buy chainmail in the Side Shop.
That would never happen. They would never put pay to win in Dota. So many people would quit.
I just don't think like a lot of items should be in the Side Shop. Like, I'm trying to think to myself. I can't remember what is in the Side Shop. Can I click on it? Side Shop. I don't like Vitality Booster and Energy Booster in the Side Shop. I think they should be gone. I'm fine with Magic Stick. That doesn't bother me. I think the Belt of Strength, Band of Velvet Skin, Robot Magi are fine. So I think basically if you look at the menu with me, because you can click on Side Shop and see, remove Broadsword, remove, well, maybe Crown can stay. Remove Broadsword, remove Morbid Mask, remove Helm of Iron Will, remove Vitality Booster, Energy Booster, Blink Dagger. I never understood why you can get a Blink Dagger out of the side shop. I'm going to be honest with you. Remove Blink Dagger. I'm fine with keeping boots. I don't think you should be able to get a, I can't even see it right now, but the stupid gloves. Gloves of Haste. I don't even know why I can't see them on this menu right now, but
It's under.
they're there. I don't think you should be able to get Gloves of Haste either. So you shouldn't be able to finish any boots in the side shop. I'm fine with getting the robe, the band, and the belt. The crown, you know. I'm actually okay with Voidstone, and I would be fine if they brought back Ring of Regen. Sorry, Ring of Health, I mean.
Ring of Health.
Yeah, I'd be fine if they brought back Ring of Health. That would be okay, too. But I don't think any of this other crap should be here. Especially Blink Dagger. I don't like that's available in the side shop, even though I use it all the time. Lol. And furry lol. I just think that stuff should not be there at all. I hate it, honestly. But we'll move on from that. So, these changes to the items are just going to nerf a lot of early game armor and mid game armor, which means heroes that do a lot of physical damage are going to be buffed commensurately. So, like, now I'm going to feel better as a bounty hunter, even though I use Phase and Medallion, because even though I'm getting nerfed to my offensive capabilities with Medallion and stuff, me hitting with Janata hurts a lot more when people have less armor. So, like, the enemy core, like, if I'm hitting a Jug with my Janata, it hurts him a lot. You know what I mean? So I appreciate this as any right-clicker. Kunkka Ghost Ship, cooldown was increased by 10 at all levels. This is really needed because Ghost Ship is such a big ultimate. People sometimes don't respect Ghost Ship, but the rum buff is, like, crazy good. It is crazy good. And the stun is huge. It's easy to set up with good play.
A lot of times I don't even use both to get damage on the enemies. I use it if my team is, like, grouped up in one place. I use it on them instead.
Yep. Rum buff is crazy. So increasing this by 10 seconds isn't going to dramatically change anything, but it's nice that if Kunkka throws a boat, it's even longer, like, that you can potentially re-engage on their team once rum debuff is gone. It's longer, like, you know, downtime that you can potentially make a move. X got a huge nerf early game. This means roaming Kunkka is basically ruined. Roaming Kunkka actually relies on X marks the spot. So increasing their level 1 cooldown by 8 seconds. Sorry, 8 seconds. 8 seconds is dramatic. It ends up scaling almost to the same, but it's still worse at level 4 as well. This is going to hurt Kunkka's pushability, you know, late game, like level 20 or so, because it's going to be longer before he can safely X himself to walk up to lane. I think this is kind of a big deal. I think Kunkka's still going to be fine, but I think it's a big hit to his game, and especially the more annoying aspects.
It's a big nerf, but it's not a huge nerf. Like,
he's playable, but it sucks for Kunkka. Morana,
they nerfed him last patch as well. They reduced his strength and strength down to something else.
Yeah, Morana, I honestly believe, is not in a good place at all anymore. I think this is like the death knell to Morana. Leap attack speed was reduced at all levels, especially early. This means early game Morana is not scary anymore. It's very rare that a Morana is going to get an arrow on you and do enough damage by herself, since they nerfed arrow before the damage last patch. It's going to be rare enough that she does enough damage to kill you. Maybe if she's lucky, because the leap attack speed she would have, but she just lost 35 attack speed at her level of first level of leap, which means level 2 if she goes Sacred Arrow leap or leap Sacred Arrow. This is just a huge nerf to her attack speed. It even goes to the late game too. She lost 20 attack speed at that level 4, which means she's a worse core because she needs that attack speed to unload, and Sacred Arrow is now slower by 50. This means that it's easier to see it coming and it's easier to react. It's harder to hit an arrow, so, like, honestly, I might not even play Morana anymore. Like, I saw the arrow in its new form. It actually feels slow.
Yeah, they nerfed it once before as well.
Yeah, it goes so slow now, and since they nerfed it so that a lot of the damage is backloaded, it used to be like, oh, base damage was good, the extra bonus damage was good. Now its base damage is crap. It's all bonus damage from distance hit, which means point-blank arrows suck now, and it's so slow you can't even get long-range arrows, so it's like, why bother? I think Morana's going to be a really niche pick when her ultimate is super important, or where her Starstorm is able to kill really, really squishy supports. I don't believe otherwise that Morana is going to be a good pick.
As a support, I'd say she's still okay. Not great. Like, maybe...
Let me just ask you a question. So
maybe C tier or B tier.
I'd say C. So someone's like, oh, I'm thinking about playing Morana like roaming, because that was a common thing. Wouldn't you just rather almost any other roamer in the game? Like, I mean that honestly. Like, oh, like I'm gonna play, or I could be bounty hunter. Wouldn't you just have them play bounty hunter?
She's like 40%, 45%, something like that. Like almost average, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. This is just a painful change. Night
As
Stalker.
Of course, she's garbage. She's just like a worse Wind Ranger, to be
Yeah,
honest.
honest. Yeah, she is. She's terrible. Night Stalker. I love this because I hate this hero right now. 100 Night attack speed was reduced at all levels by 10. This isn't huge, but it's nice. It's just nice to see him attacking a little slower when it's nighttime, because he attacks crazy fast when he has a basher. Like, you feel like you can't move. Crippling Fear. This is the biggest change in my opinion. The duration, which is the AoE silence around him at night, got reduced by 1 second at all levels. This is huge. This is so big for heroes for like that I play, like anti-mage. Like, I want to get away from him, or I want to, stun him. Now I don't have to be hit as long or as fast, because this changed, before I can get out of it. So this is a really big nerf. They also nerfed 2 of his talents. His damage talent went down, and his Hunter in the Night extra attack speed went down by 30. So if you add these together, if it's a Night Stalker who goes the Hunter in the Night talent, he lost a total of 40 attack speed. That's huge. That's a really big nerf, and 10 damage. So I think Night Stalker is still a good hero. No complaints. He's still going to be totally playable. He'll still be great in certain matchups, but he's not so overwhelmingly good in so many matchups.
I still think he's like A tier.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's still A tier, but he's not like ridiculous. You know what I mean? I'm not necessarily saying he was S tier, but he was much closer before.
Oh no, he was S tier for sure. He was like in the last tournament. He was like the second most banned and picked hero.
Yeah, it's because the silence. Honestly, the biggest part of it is the silence and his ability to roam at nighttime. It's the fact that when nighttime came, Night Stalker could come in with an Urn of Shadows, and that's it. Only item needed.
The biggest reason he became like broken is because his laning stage was trash, and then they buffed it by giving his Q full damage in day, so he can actually lane.
Right. Yes. So I'm glad to see that. Tiny. Avalanche damage was decreased by 15 at early levels, but scales back up to be the same. This hurts his early game nuke, because if you decide to not go the tree, which I don't understand why you would, but if you decided for some reason that, oh, screw tree, sure grab, I don't need it, I'm going to go Avalanche Toss combo people. They decided they don't like that. That's it. I don't know why. I actually thought that Avalanche Toss Tiny was much less irritating than Tree Grab Tiny, but somehow they said, no. Tree Grab Tiny is the only way to play. Avalanche is going to be early game nerf, because you get hit twice by Avalanche if he tosses you during it. So this means you actually lose 30 damage, 15 times 2 at level 1, meaning that he can't nuke for crap. And his toss cooldown went up at earlier levels, so you can't even combo as much.
Tiny and Kunkka are like those all-purpose heroes. Like, they give you damage, your initiation, they give you disable, and they nerf them both, because like Tiny or Kunkka were like, first of all, flex picks and very like they do it all basically.
Yeah, I'm glad to see Tiny nerfed. Don't get me wrong. I just wish Tree Grab was nerfed instead, or Zags was nerfed. I didn't really want to see the Avalanche.
They did nerf Zags last patch.
Last patch. I mean, this patch they didn't touch it. And Kunkka, I would have liked to see a nerf to his talent that increases his cleave damage. That would have been nice. X is bigger. I'm glad they nerfed X though. X was the biggest nerf.
25 talent needs to be 60% cleave, because people usually go Ghost Ship fleet anyways, and if they nerf it more, then like no one's gonna take it ever.
Okay.
It gives them some late game vibe.
Okay,
also,
fair.
Kunkka doesn't feel strong late game.
Wind Ranger got nerfed at 1 less mana regen at 10. This actually makes her Shackle Shot cooldown look a lot better. I sometimes take Shackle Shot cooldown just because if you get a Shackle on certain team comps who have less... They don't have any saves. Like, you don't have like an OD Imprison to put on the Shackled unit. You don't have like a Disruption by Shadow Demon. You don't have the ability to form around them and defend them. In those team comps are people a little bit squishier. Wind Ranger shackling you to a tree is literally the end of your life. So that's why I sometimes like to take the -2 Shackle Shot cooldown, but now that mana regen got worse, I'm definitely more likely to take it. You know what I mean? So I'm glad to see this, because the mana regen is so tremendous on her. And this patch isn't big, so I'm about to end the video anyway and restart the video as my normal Dota stream. But I think the biggest things are going to be the early game into mid game, like phase boot medallion stuff is going to be really hurt. We're going to see less levels on cores, because cores are usually the people who are farming basic neutrals. So I think this is going to equal the gap between like slot 5 and slot 1s. Well, I guess slot 2, because usually mids are the ones who have the highest level. Mid, who sometimes rotate into jungles, and fifth position are going to be a little bit closer in level, which is something I would like to see in Dota, because I hate how you can have a level 7 Crystal Maiden and both mids are level 13. It's a really painful position to be in. Not that I play position 5, but I think that those levels should be a little bit closer. I understand more levels will be on the cores in general, but I don't like the concept that it's so crazy different. So I'm glad to see that the neutrals will hurt the position 1 and 2's level a little bit. Also does hurt people like Krista Maiden, though, who go into jungle and kill a creep real quick. She's going to get less levels from that. So bad example on Krista Maiden. And then they just nerf some heroes who are really picked heavily. Like, these are heroes I see in a lot of games. Like, I see Kunkka in higher level games. The rest of these heroes I see all the time. Like, I see Miranas all the time. I see Night Stalkers all the time. My Jug game, I won because I'm a Night Stalker. I see Wind Rangers all the time. Like, that's just what it is. Alright, so I'm going to end this video. So for those of you on YouTube, sorry that I had to drag you through that 5 minutes of me trying to discuss whether or not I like my layout here. For those of you on Twitch, I'm going to be off for 2 minutes. 1 minute because I have to let it roll over, because otherwise sometimes the beginning gets cut off. I don't know why, it's just what Twitch does. And the second minute because I have to go grab my tissues because I picked up my juice and my hands are like covered in condensation now. So I will be right back.